Ciao, I'm Mary Ann Esposito. Today on Ciao Italia, cooking alla griglia Tuscany style. Ciao, I'm Mary Ann Esposito. Welcome to Italy, and let's cook real Italian. Aren't they gorgeous? Swiss chard. I knew you said that. I'm in heaven. Think about how healthy this is. That's for you. Sundae sauce. All 20 regions of Italy are fabulous. And every time I do this, I think of my Nonna Galasso because she always made it this way. You want a Goldilocks dough, just right. Who doesn't like basil, especially in the summer? Obviously, you have to have pesto sauce at some point, right? I mean, I'm a cook. Why can't I try it? You're the best.
No, you're the best.
I think it's safe to say that Tuscany, right here, is probably one of the most visited regions of Italy. A lot of people love to go to Tuscany. And why do they go there? Well, they go for the art, the architecture, Florence, Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, Settignano, a lot of reasons. But they probably also go for the food. And in Tuscany, they're noted for grilling alla griglia. That seems to be a favorite way of preparing foods. Vegetables, meats, bistecca, which is the classic steak from Florence, grilled, and also chicken. And we are going to make chicken alla griglia today, Tuscan style. And I'm going to show you how you do that. And first we're going to start by making a Tuscan rub. So how do you do that? Well, they do love to use sage in Tuscany. So here are some fresh sage leaves. You can't do this with dried herbs. You want to do this with fresh. So we have a cup of sage leaves here, right from the garden. And then we have rosemary. They also love rosemary. So we have a pile of rosemary, fresh rosemary, 2 cups. And then we want some salt right over the top. Now you could do this, excuse me, in a food processor, but you would make this too wet, and we don't want that. And then we need some garlic. Now all we have to do is get our knife into this, and you want to chop this all so that it's very, very fine. So it's going to take you a few minutes to do because, of course, we have a lot of herbs here. And whenever I'm in Tuscany, of course, I take note of what cooks are using when they're making a dish. And Tuscan cooking is very, very simple. At one time it was, of course, referred to as cucina povera because besides a lot of vegetables and meats, they also love to make beans. The Tuscans are known for cooking lots of beans. In fact, they do something similar to what we do with baked beans. They cook beans in a flask, and then they serve them as a side dish with lots of different things. So for this chicken that we're doing today, we're going to do a chicken alla griglia, and alla griglia means that we're going to put it on the grill. So it's going to go on our outdoor grill. So if you're saying, well, I don't have a grill, how else can I do this? Well, then you could just do this really in the oven once I show you what you do with the rub. And when I make this rub, I think it makes a really great hostess gift too. So I keep it in the refrigerator, and then when I'm going to somebody's house for a barbecue, I can bring this Tuscan rub with me. So it's going to take about 5 minutes or so to get this all into the consistency that I would like. Okay, this is basically where I want it. You see, it's nice and fine now. So now what you have to do is dry this. You want to dry it, and what I do is just spread it out on some wax paper. Just spread it all out. And you allow this to dry overnight. Then you can put it in the refrigerator. So you put that all out there. And when it is dry, it'll look something like this. You see, it's now darker looking. It's dry. And what do I do with it now? Well, you could use it right away if you wanted to, or you could just put it in a jar and keep it in the refrigerator. Then when you want it, you always have it. So that's easy enough. Now the color does change some, of course, because that's being exposed to the air, but it doesn't change the flavor, which is absolutely fantastic. So remember, that was garlic, it was sage, it was rosemary, and it was salt. And now that we have the rub, let's make chicken. So we need some lemons. So let's squeeze a couple of lemons. Again, you know, everything about real Italian cooking involves using real ingredients. So I think what I'm trying to get at is you don't want to use lemon juice from a jar from the grocery store, because it just isn't going to make your food taste as great as it would if you were using a real lemon. And how long does it take to really juice a lemon? Not that long, as you can see. So 2 large lemons. This is going to give great flavor. And the chicken is going to marinate overnight. So when you're thinking about doing this recipe, you want to think ahead, obviously. All right, so there's our lemon juice. And we're going to put that in the dish that we're going to marinate the chicken in. So here's a dish big enough to hold the chicken. So let's put the juice in. And I'm using about a 4.5 pound chicken. And we want some olive oil. So about 3 tablespoons. I'm just going to eyeball that. Extra virgin olive oil. And I'm going to give this a little grinding of pepper, not salt, because I have salt in the rub. And speaking of the rub, so we want to put about 1/3 of this in this pan, because the rest we're going to rub on the chicken later. So about 1/3 of what you minced goes into the pan. Now, we did all the clean things first, and now we're going to talk about chicken. So here we have a whole chicken. Now here's the new thinking about chicken. Please do not rinse your chicken in the sink. Yeah, I mean, I know. It used to be that we would all wash the chicken and all of that. But you know, Mary Ann does a lot of reading. So now the new thinking is, instead of spreading bacteria all over your counter, your sink, whatever, when you're rinsing the chicken, take some paper towels and wipe the chicken. Just wipe it up and go inside the chicken to mop up any kind of juices that are there. And when I do this, I like to do it on a chicken mat. So let me take that off. So you make sure that you really sop up any of the juices that are in the chicken. So the chicken is fairly dry. I know, and you're saying, well, you're going to put it in a marinade. Yes, I am. But I wanted to get all of those excess juices out of the chicken. So it's fairly dry. Now, you can take the bird and you can sit it in the marinade like this and just let it marinate overnight. And then before we put it on the grill, what we're going to do is something called spatchcocking. We're going to take the backbone of the chicken out, which is right here. See this tail? We're going to run along either side of the backbone and take it out so that the chicken will lie flat when we're grilling it. You don't have to do this, but I just think that this is a better way to do it. So really get some of that rub all over the chicken. And you cover this and it goes in the refrigerator. Okay, there's our chicken. ready for the grill. So now, the thing is, you want to preheat the grill. So we're going to take the chicken out of the marinade. Put it here. You want to find out where that bone is, and then you want to start cutting. You're going to start hearing some collapsing bone. Get it in there. And you really got to push on that. It will help if your scissors is nice and sharp. Right through that skin. Backbone out. Now what do you do with this? You save it for soup, so you can put it in the freezer. So now you turn that, you see how that lies flat, and you can just press on the chicken and it's really flat. I'm going to put a little bit more rub on it. And just kind of press it down with a piece of paper so I don't have to get my hands dirty again. Okay, we are ready. Alla griglia, here we come. How will you know when this chicken is done? When an internal temperature reading reads 165 degrees Fahrenheit. So, and if you have a really hot grill, this is not going to stick. So there it is. We're going to put the lid down. And now we're going to make more things for the grill. So what goes with grilled chicken? Obviously, we should do some grilled vegetables. So here we have some zucchini, and I'm going to just cut them up into rounds and then put them on the grill. I think that will be a nice accompaniment to the chicken. So you can use any kind of vegetable you want. There's zucchini. How about some eggplant? And for this, I would use the long, skinny Japanese type eggplants. You could do tomatoes if you wanted to. And we already have some peppers, yellow and red, cut up. So what are we going to do with this? Well, first we make a marinade. Back to the marinade again. So I'm going to make a marinade. There's really no recipe for this. You just make it up as you go along. So I think lime juice is really good for a marinade. It has a nice Spritey flavor. Everybody has limes, right? So let's put like a half a cup of lime juice in. Then how about some oregano, dried oregano? That's the one herb that really does taste better dried. A little bit of salt goes in. I like honey, so let's put some honey in. Oh, maybe 3 tablespoons or so. And how about a couple tablespoons of olive oil, extra virgin, of course. And all we have to do now is stir that and plop these vegetables in here. And like we marinated the chicken overnight, this would be better if you marinated the vegetables overnight, but you don't have to. But if you're planning on making this menu, it makes sense that you do everything at once and just put it all together on the day of. So there's the peppers. And we have some onion chunks. Isn't this pretty? It's very Italian. Okay, so then we just want to toss all of that, all of these chunks. And you can, as I say, marinate it overnight like you're doing the chicken, or if you want to do this right away, then that's fine too. Just get it into that marinade. And really, cooking is about just using your head and using what ingredients you have on hand. So I really didn't measure anything for this, so you could come up with something else. If you liked some other herb you wanted to use, that's fine. Maybe you don't like lime juice, you could leave it out. You could do vinegar if you wanted. Red wine vinegar would be good with this. Okay, there are the veggies. Now we have to skewer them. Here we have options. I kind of like this idea. When I was in Tuscany, I happened to be at this place just outside of Florence called La Stalla. And there you just sat at long tables with the locals. and you had red and white tablecloths, and people were just having a wonderful time. They were using their hands to eat chicken, grilled chicken, and vegetables, and the vegetables came on rosemary skewers. I thought, wow, these Tuscans, they know how to cook. So if you're going to do that, you have to start with fresh rosemary. So all I did was take most of the leaves off. I left a little bit at the top. Yes, they're going to get charred, but they're going to impart a very nice flavor to the vegetables. But what you want to make sure is that you're picking rosemary that has a pretty sturdy stem, because it's got to go through those. So let me show you how this goes. And if you didn't want to do this, you could always just use, a metal skewer. But ho-hum, everybody has those. All right, so, and what I like to do is skewer the same type of vegetable on one skewer, because they're all going to cook at different rates. So all of the zucchini would go on one, all of the eggplant would go on another. So put about 3 or 4. You see, and you see why you have to have a pretty sturdy stem, because otherwise it just wouldn't hold. Isn't that pretty though? It makes a nice presentation. I know what you're thinking. She has nothing else to do with her time. Okay, so here's another one. And how about we do some eggplant? So again, you're putting the same vegetables instead of mixing them up, because they will cook at different rates. And then you can take them off as they cook. Okay, there is our eggplant. And maybe we do just one more, because I think you get the idea. But we do some peppers. They're a little harder to do because the skin is so. And here you can use red, yellow peppers. Mix it up a little bit. Onions can go on one skewer all by themselves. And again, this is all going onto a hot grill. When they start to look charred looking, well, that's when you take them off. And they become the side dish for your chicken. Looks like a little pepper necklace. Okay, so I think you get the idea. The eggplant, the zucchini, the peppers, you can skewer the onions as well. So now they're ready for the grill. I think fennel is one of the most underrated vegetables that Americans know about, because in Italy, in Tuscany, and in almost every region of Italy, this is revered. It's eaten as a digestivo, raw, after you have had your meal. But it's also great as a cooked vegetable. So if you've never dealt with fennel, you should try it. So when you buy it, it comes like this. It looks very, I don't know, artistic, I guess is the word, with these fine fronds that you can use for fish, for flavoring vegetables, other things. But today we're working just with the bulb. So you want to clean the bulb, save those for something else, and then I leave the base attached, and I cut this into quarters. Now, it just depends on how large a fennel you buy. So for this recipe, you want quartered fennel, and we're going to be cooking these rather on the top of the stove. So you see how they look inside. They're beautiful. So let me do one more, because we need, to fill up the pan. So what we need to do once you wash them is you want to take off any brown spots that you see. So you see, like with a vegetable peeler, you can just go around. You don't want to, some people just take that outer layer and they throw it away, but then you're throwing money away because you've paid for that. It's much easier if you just take a vegetable peeler and go around the outside. So we do the very same thing to that. We're going to take this off. Did I say this was great in soup? Well, it is. And again, we're going to quarter them. And then you want to have some butter in a pan. So we have about 4 tablespoons of butter, In a pan, I'm going to turn up the heat here a little bit, and we're going to put these in, cut side down, as many as will fit in this pan, and we're going to let these cook for about 5 minutes on one side, and then we're going to turn them, and then we're going to add some cream and some flavoring to this. Let me turn that one down. So we let them go for about 5 minutes, and then we'll turn them over. Once you turn them over like this, then we want to give them a little bit of salt, some cream, about a half a cup. Pour it right in. This is so easy. It's a delicious dinner, and it's a delicious vegetable. And as this cooks, it just develops a nice sweet flavor because, you know, it has a licorice tasting flavor. We're going to give it a grinding of nutmeg over the top. And we're going to let that cook on a medium-low heat, covered until it's fork tender. So when the fennel is ready, the last thing we're going to put on is the grated montasio, and our dinner alla griglia will be ready. Two magic words describe Tuscan cooking: alla griglia. And that's what we did for you. This beautiful chicken that we marinated first in a Tuscan rub, and then we put on the grill, along with beautiful a variety of vegetables that we made a marinade for. And now it's all ready to eat, alla griglia. And then what goes with this? How about a wonderful fennel dish? And here all we did was cook the fennel in a little bit of butter. We added some cream, some cheese, some nutmeg, and it's the perfect accompaniment for our alla griglia meal. And until I see you nella cucina again, I'm Mary Ann Esposito. Ciao! Don't even think about coming to Rome without walking down the Via Condotti. This is the shopping center of Italy if you have un sacco di soldi, a big bag of money, un sacco di soldi, because all of the big names are here. Look, Gucci, Prada, Bulgari, you've got them all. And of course, these are the top designers. And I always think of it as a street where there are a lot of lookers, but not too many takers, because it's, as I say, extremely expensive. But anyone who is visiting Rome definitely has to come down and just look at the windows, because the windows themselves are works of art, are fashionable, are one of a kind. So Via Condotti, keep that in mind, and the men can leave their wallets really safe inside their pockets, while the women go shopping.